Welcome to the Diamond Mindset channel. I am supreme. Today's topic, believe that you have already received it. I made a couple videos about this before. Today I'm going to go a little bit more in depth. Again, I am the author of The Diamond Mind, a law of attraction based on ancient scriptures and modern day practitioners. If you want to work with me one-on-one, my link is in the description. A link to the Diamond Mind paperback is in the description. Also, a link to the Diamond Mind Audible is in the description. All right, let's get into it real quick. I'm on my way to train, and I just wanted to drop this quick video. So, if you're open, which I encourage you to be open to new information always, you never feel like you've arrived, because then you end up being a 50-year-old man with 20-year-old game. Believe that you have already received it. I've talked about this plenty of times about the law of attraction, the law of assumption, the law of reversibility. All of that comes from the teachings of Jesus, for the most part. Obviously, I'm sure Jesus didn't invent this stuff. He got it from somewhere too. But for all practical purposes, everything about the law of attraction is pretty much comes from the teachings of Jesus. Okay, and everybody puts their little spin on it and things like that. But if you were just going to look at one particular verse in the Bible that encompassed the whole movement of the law of assumption and law of attraction, it would be Mark 11, 23 and 24. Okay? So, I'd encourage you to read the entire chapter of Mark 11. It's a great chapter. So, earlier in the chapter, the disciples and Jesus are walking towards the temple. Okay? And Jesus is hungry. So, he sees a fig tree off in the distance. So, he went up to it because he noticed that there were leaves on fig trees. And anytime a fig tree is in leaf, it also has fruit on it as well. If there are no leaves, there are no fruit. If you see leaves, there's fruit on it. So he saw the leaves from a distance. He went up to it because he was hungry. He wanted something to eat. When he got up to the fig tree that had leaves on it, there was no fruit on the tree. So he cursed the tree, right? He said, "May you never bear fruit again." Now, you can look at this a couple of different ways. I'm going to just a quick side note. One of the interpretations is if you are, as a human being, if you're not bearing fruit, what are you even here for? If I've given you everything, I put everything in you, which he has, because you are all that there is, right? If you are one with the Creator, you are limitless. And if a limitless being is not creating fruit, what are you even doing here? You're, in essence, cursing yourself. Zoop. Back to the original topic. He cursed the tree. He says, "May you never bear fruit again." The disciples heard it. They walked to the temple. Everybody knows the temple story where he turns over the tables and rebukes the money changers, calls it a den of thieves. You've turned my father's house into a den of thieves. All of that rigmarole. And now they're on their way back. The next morning, on their way back, one of the disciples noticed the fig tree. And he looked at it and he said, "Rabbi, the fig tree that you cursed has withered away. How did you do that?" So basically Jesus responds, and I'm paraphrasing, but I'm pretty much on point. This is my favorite verse in the Bible, so I ain't missing too much. Jesus said, "Have faith in God. If you tell this mountain to go throw itself in the sea and believe that what you say will come to pass, it will come to pass." And here is my favorite line in the entire Bible. It says, "And when you stand praying, believe that you have already received it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the key to life, the key to manifesting or creating anything you want to happen or come to pass. Believe that you have already received it. See, this is not like a opposites attract type of thing in the physical realm. In the spiritual realm, like energies attract, right? So whatever energy you're putting out into the universe is the energy that you are going to receive back. So when you believe that you have already received it, it's already yours, and that's the energy that you're projecting out into the universe, that is the energy that you're going to receive. That energy is a far cry from the energy of, I hope I will receive what I'm asking for. If I do 1, 2, 3 things and do these steps and do these affirmations, if I have to do something, if I do everything correctly, then I'll get it. It's a far cry from the energy of hope and wishing, right? Because when you hope that you get something, or you wish you could have something, or you just have an intense desire to get something, that's the energy that you're projecting. So if you're hoping, the energy, the universe is going to give you more situations where you can hope to get something somewhere in the future, right? So we want to talk about tense right quick. Believe that you have already received it means that it's already done. And it's done right now. Not in the future, not in the past, but right now. So it's already done. Creation is already finished, right? Creation is already finished. If you are looking around in your life and there's some things that you don't particularly care for, right? Some circumstances, some difficulties. Maybe it's a health issue or a financial issue. You have to take responsibility to know that you created that. Not like you created it from scratch because creation is done, but you created that circumstance by tuning into the frequency of that circumstance. So if your financial issues going on in your life, it's not because the white man's holding you down, or there are no jobs available, or Trump is in office. It's because you have a foundational energy frequency of lack. And when you have that, okay, and it's easy to get it if you allow your circumstances to dictate your circumstances. You know, you can look at your circumstances and be discouraged by it and then create more and more of that same thing because that's the energy that you're projecting, right? So we see these neutral things that are happening that we tuned into, that we created, that we manifested. Nobody created the stuff that we see. We created it, right? And then we want to judge the circumstance instead of the source of the circumstance. You are source. You are a son and daughter of God. You are limitless. You create everything around you. You have to take responsibility for what you're dwelling on, right? So whatever you're seeing as you open your eyes is what you've brought to pass by what you've been dwelling on all day long. Napoleon Hill said, you are what you think about all day long, right? So you're the source of what you see. So you're the boss of what you see. So if you see something that you don't particularly care for, don't assign a negative meaning towards it, because what you resist will persist. Okay? In a previous video, I said, okay, first thing you need to do, and I didn't even name that number one. But at a foundational level, you need to know that you are source and you're creating everything in your environment. Now, from that realization, number one, you look around at your circumstances, you acknowledge it. You acknowledge that neutral situation. You don't assign anything negative to it. If you're going to assign something positive to it. I like to assign the fact that, oh, this is part of everything unfolding perfectly for me. Right? In a crass way, I always say, I don't give a fuck what it looks like. I know what it's about to look like. Right? Because when I see it in my mind, it's coming. It's coming. And I hold on to that, regardless of what I'm seeing on the outside of me. Right? So you acknowledge your surroundings. Okay? Maybe you don't particularly care for it. You choose something different. You see in something you don't particularly care for, you can choose something different. The way you choose something different is by declaring it. Knowing your source, acknowledging what's going on, choosing something different, creating an imaginal scene in your mind that represents your receipt of what you're believing for. And number three, becoming that. You have to embody the person that has already received what they're asking for, whether you see it or not. All you need to do is convince yourself that it's done. Once you see it in your mind, it's done, it's finished, and I'm going to hold on to that energy and keep projecting, pushing that energy out, regardless of what I see. So it's not like you got to be upset with your circumstances, or even just deny them, because they're real. They're real. They have a right to exist. Everything exists, and it has its right to exist. You, as the source of your circumstances, gets to choose which frequencies you want to tune into. If it's health, tune into the frequency of health. When you feel that pain, you say, thank you, God, for healing me. Healing me. This pain is letting me know that I'm being healed right now. Okay. If it's a financial situation, my wealth increases every day. Everything is always working out for me. So when you get that bill in the mail or a phone call from, I don't know, some spam person or something like that asking for money, or maybe you actually owe some money to somebody and they're calling to collect, you're not discouraged by that, because you've already created an imaginal scene where you're wealthy, your wealth increases daily, everything is always working out for you, and you're in overflow, right? So being is probably the second most important thing. The most important thing here is knowing that you're source. From that foundational position that you've taken, that I am source, I am one with source, anything else you do from that can't go wrong. Any decision that you make, any action that you take, any thought that comes up is part of the perfectly unfolding of your whatever you're believing for, your manifestation, if you will. So, know that your source, acknowledge your surroundings, don't give any negative type of an attachment to sources that you may not particularly care for. Know that you created those, you're the one that tuned into the frequency, and also know that you can turn into something different, tune into something different, choose something different. Whether it's a job, I work at so-and-so and so-and-so. I am the top employee. All my businesses are flourishing. Everybody that watches my YouTube posts wants to work with me. My money increases every single day. Everything is perfectly unfolding for me. Create the imaginal scene where it may be just you giving a handshake to one of your friends and them congratulating you. Something as simple as that. And you see it in your mind and you feel it in your spirit. And then you keep that, you maintain that, because that's part of being. That's the next part. Second most important is being what you're asking for. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. So it's a fake it till you make it type of a deal, right? I don't care what the fuck it looks like. I know what it's about to look like. That's the confidence. That's the energy projection. That's the way you manifest. Love you guys. Have a great day.